Mike, do you think people have been playing the game to be in front of the camera?
I don't think so.
No.
You think so? I haven't noticed it, I should say.
People aren't necessarily being who they probably naturally would be, but I think that's also part of showmanship or part of the game. Yeah.
I'm just having a good time, man. I'm being myself, and I'm ready to go hit the racetrack.
Not necessarily in a bad way. I mean, I think
it's just being extra.
Yeah, I think of, okay, what do I do when it comes to my marketing and my partnerships and my YouTube channel and things like that?
On all my social media, overall, I think I have probably 70 to 80,000 followers, somewhere in that range. So definitely been able to build it up and utilize that for partnerships and, you know, building my brand.
If I record myself, most of the time, I would say all the time, I'm trying to be real. But there are some times where it may take me multiple takes or something like that to portray how I want it to portray. Not necessarily that it's not being real, but it might take me a few takes. Like, I think sometimes here, there's people that
saying the right things.
Saying the right things.
Saying what you should say.
Trying really hard.
My name is Landon Huffman. I am 29 years old and I live in the wonderful town of Claremont, North Carolina. Small town North Carolina is definitely a unique place to live. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Had a good upbringing. I lived actually, I guess you could call it a family compound. My grandpa was fortunate to start a business in the 70s and was able to get a little plot of land, and he had three sons, and they all built houses on that land, including my father. You know, I definitely gravitated towards racing from a very, very early age. My very first memories are at a racetrack, watching my dad race. Definitely something that I was born into, but always something I had a love for. When I got to the age of 11 or 12, we sort of had to make a decision. We didn't have the money really for me to race. My dad grew up working on his race cars his entire life. Dad pretty much said, look, man, if you want to race, you got to work on it, and you know, if you don't work on it, you're not getting behind the wheel. So that's what we did. We built a car in 2011, took it to the racetrack, and that was the first time I drove a full-size stock car, was at 14, and I guess the rest is history from there. I played football, basketball, and baseball growing up, and so the competitive drive was always in me, but none of the competition from those sports compares at all to sitting behind the wheel of a race car on a Saturday night. People don't realize how difficult it is sometimes to continue to move forward in this sport because of that high-low thing where, you know, you're chasing the high constantly, but the lows are brutal, and it was tough every weekend. We weren't having the results. You know, it took a toll on my family and my personal relationship with my wife. Felt like a few things went our way a little bit differently. We might have had a shot at a championship. I kind of pissed away an opportunity to win at Tri-County, which is my home track there a couple weeks ago. So I was basically done racing, like right before COVID. While we were all quiet, I started sim racing and I started broadcasting it and streaming it online on Twitch. That took off. I had a lot of people watching, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of people that are paying attention to this. You know, how can I capitalize on this? So I went out into my dad's race shop, which was at the time falling down. And with my grandpa's help, we started cleaning stuff out, and I started vlogging it and putting it on YouTube. Major leak, and it rained last night, so now I see that. I don't know how we're gonna go about that. I was like, oh, it's race shop restoration. This is what we're doing. And I started building the following, and my socials started building, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a real opportunity maybe. And it's helped me build relationships with sponsors all through the social platforms and everything that I've been able to generate, which, I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't even be sitting here right now or driving the race car every weekend if it wasn't for, you know, social media. My wife, my mom, and my sister kind of operate the merchandise on the weekends at the racetrack. And my wife records for my YouTube channel up in the stands during the race. I feel very blessed that I'm sitting here in front of this camera today with an opportunity to show you my ability and you know, what I can do behind the wheel of a car, how I can represent a company. And a small town kid like me, short track racer, to have an opportunity to compete, to go race full time in the truck series, that's a lifelong dream for me, and I'm here to win the competition, and my plan is to go truck racing. I don't know what their plan is, but my plan is to be in Daytona in February.